You're listening to the 49 Carats Podcast, a 49ers Goldmine production with Angelina Martin and Stephanie Sanchez.
What's going on, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the 49 Carats Podcast. This is a very joyous episode. We're very happy today, this whole week, for good reason. And we'll be talking about it in this episode. But actually, we're also very excited because my co-host here, who I'm joined by, Angie, you reached 5K on Twitter. Congratulations. How does it feel to be a celebrity?
Thank you. It's a big day for me. No, I feel so lame talking about that, but dude, I love Twitter. So when people are interested in what you have to say, I'm just like, oh my God, same. So yeah, that was a cool thing today, but yeah, just joyous all around.
Yeah, for sure. But before we get into talking about the game, we have some pretty good This Week in 49ers history.
Yes,
so Angie, go ahead, take us away.
All right, you know the drill. This Week in 49ers history on January 15th, 1995. I was 1.5 years old, just a wee babe. The 49ers beat the Cowboys 38-28 in the NFC Championship game on their way to their 5th Super Bowl appearance and win. And sadly, we are still on a quest for 6. So fun factoid, but also we've been on this quest for 6 for a while. Let's kick it into high gear, right? Also, actually today, January 19th, is a great day for 49er fans because on January 19th, 2020, as we all know, the 49ers defeated the Green Bay Packers in the NFC Championship game. I was there. It was amazing. And as we all know, the reason they were able to do that was because of running back Raheem Mostert. Looking back at his stats from this game, it's just he had a good game, but when you see it on paper, it's holy crap. He had 220 yards and 4 touchdowns.
He went God mode on this game.
Yeah, dude, not beast mode, not savage mode, God mode. Insane. That was such a great day. So I think it's funny, these two little tidbits of history. Dude, why do I always call them tidbits? That kills me. It just comes out of my mouth. So yeah, these little fun throwbacks. Weird because Niners just beat the Cowboys, so pretty timely. And I mean, it's playoffs, so there's gonna be rivalry memories. And then we got the Packers this weekend, so let's see if we can duplicate that, the 2020 results that we saw. So I'm stoked. Should I just hop into the news? Or you want to say anything, Steph? I'm sorry.
Actually, okay, you remember? So we've all seen in the 2020 or 2019 season when we beat the Packers on our way to the Super Bowl. Raheem Mostert had that touchdown celebration where he surfs,
Yes.
and he stands up and does a little surfing celebration. I would love to see Elijah Mitchell or Deebo Samuel, participate in that touchdown celebration on Sunday. I think that'd be a great ode to Raheem Mostert.
Yeah, pay him a little tribute. So if you're listening, go tweet that at them so they do it. That would be sick. I like that idea. So all right, let's hop into the news before the game. Big news: Deebo Samuel and Trent Williams, as you all probably know, they made the AP first team All-Pro for the first time in their careers. It was a pretty big deal. Deebo is only the 4th wide receiver to be named All-Pro. He's on a great list of names: Jerry Rice, Terrell Owens, Gene Washington, and Dwight Clark. So, and he actually ties Dwight Clark with 1 right now. So I think we're going to see a few more from Deebo. So safe to say he is, fingers crossed, having quite the career. And we have to talk about the Bosa snub, right? That was the talk of the town. What did you think when you saw that Nick Bosa was not an All-Pro, not even on the second team?
Right, at the very least, I understand first team, okay, he had his second half of the season wasn't quite as loud as the first, right? For a variety of reasons. But he should have at least gotten that second team, man. And it's just atrocious that Max Crosby got more votes than him. Like, what even is that? So, I mean, I like that Nick Bosa would be playing with a chip on his shoulder, though.
Yeah, yeah, and he definitely did this past weekend. He killed it until he had to come out of the game. That sucked. We'll talk about that. But Max Crosby is a great football player, right? And, if Nick Bosa didn't exist, he would deserve to be on the All-Pro team. But unfortunately, like, Nick Bosa exists, and you can go, it's really easy to go on Google and compare their stats, and it's just atrocious. So I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. They're not putting him on the All-Pro team. They're calling him Joey Bosa on the broadcast. So I think Nick Bosa is going to be playing double angry this weekend if he's in the game. So moving on, I got on my soapbox there. We had some players returning. Azeez Al-Shaair returned after being out for a few weeks with his elbow injury. So that was huge, especially, seeing Fred Warner go down. Like, it's nice to have Azeez back. Both teams were healthy coming into the game. It showed on the field, maybe not so much for the Cowboys, but 49ers played pretty well. And the 49ers, I think this is crazy. They were the healthiest they've been since week 1. That was bizarre to me. Like, it's been another injury-ridden season, right?
Right. Yeah. It was great to see, though. I mean, if there's any time to get healthy again, it's in the playoffs and these big games. So it's definitely good to see.
Yeah, that was all the news coming into the game, which before we get into it, I know you didn't put it in our notes, but we have to talk about the fact that you were at the game.
Yes, Karthik said he didn't know I was at the game. Yes, I was at the game. It was a great time. I pretty much, so since I moved out of the Bay Area, I told myself, I was going to go to a game, if they made the playoffs, and they did. So I went out there and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Cowboys fans were actually pretty nice, like just a lot of friendly banter and nothing personal or anything. So it was a great time. Jerry World, I have to say, is an amazing stadium.
Yeah.
As advertised, like it is huge. That screen is otherworldly. It was just a great time, and just to be in that atmosphere with so many other 49er fans. You might have seen the video I posted of the march. We literally marched from like our tailgate lot to the stadium all together. It was incredible. I knew at that point we were going to have some numbers in that crowd, and that we did. And I'm just glad that we got to see a win in this game. The 49ers beat the Cowboys 23-17. A matchup, by the way, that drew 41.5 million viewers between the CBS and Nickelodeon broadcasts. Which one did you tune into, Angie?
I watched the regular one. I don't mean to be like a fun sucker, but I just like to watch my football. It's cute. I like watching the videos of like the slime cannons and stuff on Twitter, and if I had kids, like 100% would throw on the Nickelodeon. I know some people were tweeting that like their kids were loving it. But no, I watched the regular broadcast, but I did joke that I was going to switch to Nickelodeon after they kept calling Nick Bosa Joey Bosa on CBS. So, yeah.
I don't know how they did that. It's like they're both good within their own right. It's like how do you mess that up?
Well, and here's the thing, because I'm also a reporter, but in a different sense. I've done live shots and stuff before, and like, yeah, you totally do like have vomit of the mouth or like brain farts where you think you're gonna say one thing and then a completely different thing comes out. But like, I don't know, he's the star of the team, like one of the stars of the team, one of the best players in the NFL. Like, you did it twice, man. Like, this is your one job. I don't know. I don't want to be too hard on her because like, been there, right? We all make mistakes, but like, it was hard. It was hard to watch.
Yeah, it was a little rough, but
yeah.
Karthik asked, did you get a look at Kyle's call sheet? Karthik, I wish I was sitting that close. I was not quite that close to get his call sheet, but still, it was a great time. So did you know the 49ers were the only wild card team to make it through to the divisional round? I'm sure you knew that. You might know that.
I did not know that. That's crazy.
Yep. And only road team to win in wild card weekend.
Now that did not surprise me. That's actually, I think that's my fast fact later, but yeah, that was really cool to see that they were the only road team. No, you're fine. You're fine. I have stats. I have numbers. Don't worry about it.
Okay, good.
Yeah. But no, I did not know that. Thank you, Steph.
And another cool little stat, because we just love to throw jabs at the Cowboys as we've been all this weekend. We smoking that Cowboys pack all week. Jimmy Garoppolo now has more playoff wins than the Cowboys franchise does since the year 2000. Does that surprise you at all?
No. Can I bag on them a little bit more? Also, did you know that the Cowboys have not been to the NFC Championship game in 26 years? Like,
sheesh.
Which is that? Oh my God, is that our This Week in 49ers history? Was that the last year that? No. Yes.
No.
Don't ask me to do math.
1995. Wait. No, don't make me do math.
I should have just.
I'm no mathematician. No math major. God. I'm no math major.
I'm gonna die. I'm no doctor. I'm no
all right. Well,
major.
Anyway, we'll keep it moving here. But yeah, I mean, from what I saw in this game, I just want to talk really quickly about that very first drive. Like, what were your thoughts going into the game? Because there's always nervousness, anxiousness as soon as the game starts. But, once they get rolling, once they get some first downs, you start to feel good. And of course, once they got that first touchdown, it really felt like, okay, like they got this. So how'd you feel after that first masterful drive?
Oh my God, it felt like lightning bolts were shooting through my body, right? Like exactly what you said. You don't know what to expect. It's an NFC wildcard game against, one of the best teams this year, one of the best defenses. So, and you never know like which Jimmy you're going to get, right? So it was awesome to just come out and see that first drive. And it was really just a 49ers opening drive. I mean, they ran the ball. Jimmy made some nice throws and it ended up in a touchdown. So you can't ask for anything more than that. I was excited. Honestly, those 7 points, obviously, we saw at the end of the game, ended up being huge. So that opening drive was everything.
Yeah, it definitely was. Going back to a question that Ryan asked, how was Papa, as in Greg Papa? I loved seeing him rock the chains. Dude, Greg Papa was fucking awesome. Like, he came to the same restaurant or bar, whatever, where the 49ers invasion took place. He got there like after, the invasion time, but there were still a lot of fans. So he was just soaking up all the attention, dude. Like he did not shy away from taking pictures. He didn't look bothered at all from people going up to him. Like this dude it looked like he loved the attention and he was just soaking up all the fun. So it was great to meet him and get a picture, especially with him with all the chains. That was a pretty iconic, if I must say so.
Dude, yeah. I'm pretty sure every Niner fan saw that video. So shout out to Steph for going viral. All about that content, baby. Let's go.
I tried. Awesome. I tried to get as much good content out there as I could. But the 49ers definitely provided us with some good content to talk about this week. Did you know the Cowboys came into this game with the league's #1 offense? You might have figured that. I mean, they're a really good, high-powered offense. They led the league in points per game with 31.2. And they were first in yards per game with 407. That's not a low number. Like that's a ridiculous amount of yards per game to average. And I mean, I came away from this game very impressed with the 49ers defense, as I have been for several games now. Yeah. They held the Cowboys to 270 passing yards and just 17 points, which is huge considering, what I just mentioned. And their leading receiver was Dalton Schultz, which is a huge win because you don't want Amari Cooper or CeeDee Lamb beating you, right? Cooper was held at 64 yards, CeeDee Lamb just 21. CeeDee Lamb was on an island. I don't know where he was at. He was on an island somewhere.
Yeah.
And I was just impressed by this game. I really want to say that the 49ers won this game in the trenches, right? Like,
Agreed.
what did you think about the defensive line and their performance in this game?
Yeah, I mean, just like you said, they were one of the main reasons that the 49ers were able to win this game. And then, to do what they did in the second half with Nick Bosa going out and still, dominate and make sure that the 49ers won that game. It went from, helping them win it in the first half to, fighting for their lives to make sure that the 49ers won it in the second half. I think the real telling thing was that the pass rush did affect the passing game. Dak Prescott is one of the best passing quarterbacks in the NFL, right? And Brandon Ayuk had more. No, he didn't have more. He almost had as many catches and yards as CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper. So that just shows you right there, the way they were able to just stop all of those weapons that Dallas has. It all starts with the pass rush.
Yeah, definitely. One quick question from Karthik. He asks, Steph and Angie, do you think we can call DeMeco better than Salah? Just a thought.
It's only been a year. I'm not going to go there.
Yeah.
But like, if he keeps up this trajectory, like, I'm sure it'll get there. I'm sure he'll get there. I'm sure he will be. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. Because, Salah started out much, 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 much worse than DeMeco Ryans is starting out. And look how he ended up. So if we go based off of that, then,
Right. If there's more room for him to improve, I think, in a few years we might be saying this. But yeah, I agree. It might be a little too early to say. I'm just enjoying the DeMeco Ryans experience. It's been amazing. And yeah, like in his first year to be doing this already, I would say DeMeco Ryans in his first year is right now how they're playing is probably better than not better, but just about the same level as Robert Saleh was at his peak, would you say?
Yeah, it's probably close. I don't know if I'd say better. It's hard.
It's hard. Yeah, for sure.
His defense was really good, man. But yeah, like nothing but excitement about this assistant coaching position, which coming into the season, we had no idea. We weren't really sure if it was going to go well. So like, what more could you ask for?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I got a little quick stat on the defensive line really quick as well. Let me blow this up. Oh, yeah, let me blow this up. Okay, so the 49ers defensive line, as you can see, their last few games, their pressure rate is way up there, over 40% in the last 6 games. That's incredible. When you look at the fact that they held Dallas to 77 rushing yards, they had 5 total sacks in this game, as well as 3 tackles for loss. It was just an incredible accomplishment. And they finished with 31 total pressures on 25 of Dak's 52 dropbacks. So Dak was throwing quite a bit in this game. So as you can see, they had the 48.1% pressure rate in this game. Against Stafford last week, they had the 48.6. So if they can keep this trend going, I'd like to see what they can do. It seems like they're playing out of their minds right now. Credit to DeMeco and of course Chris Kosrich. I think I say that right. I might be saying it wrong. I hate saying his name because. But anyway,
I'm sure you appreciate the shout out either way.
Right. And we heard a lot about Cowboys left tackle Tyron Smith coming into this game as well. But he struggled in this game. He allowed 7 pressures. Do you think that has more to do with the defensive line, or do you think that this was simply a bad game by him, or maybe both?
And it's the best defensive line in the NFL, so you're gonna have some trouble with it probably. And that's just my opinion. That's not based in fact. If you're coming on the show for a lot of facts from me, I don't know. But that's the way I feel. If I would probably have a bad game against them too.
Yeah. And
so
Dak,
I guess kind of both. The line caused him to have a bad game.
Right. Well, the bad game for the offensive line, or the good game from the 49ers defensive line, definitely translated to Dak Prescott having a bad game. Under pressure, he was 6 of 17, 71 yards and one interception, 24.4 passer rating. It's bad. 24.4.
And you could tell he was feeling a little bad after the game too. I mean, he was unwell, I'll put it that way.
Talking reckless about the refs.
So reckless. And it took him 2 days to come out and be like, actually, maybe don't throw trash at the refs. Like, what? That was crazy.
And still couldn't even admit any fault. And even Mike McCarthy couldn't admit any fault, even still,
dude,
after all of the criticism they got,
yeah.
and rightfully so, they still could not say that was bad on my part. We haven't heard that. So you got to feel for Cowboys fans. We got plenty of good memes from the weekend. My favorite one was the girl who was crying. I don't know why she was crying. It's not that serious. What was your favorite meme, Angie, if you had one?
Oh man, maybe the guy with his side chick.
Yeah.
Have you seen that one? That's pretty funny. Just because, number one, they're Cowboys fans and they look hella sad, funny from the get-go, and then you learn the backstory. This clown's just standing at the middle of an NFL game with his side chick, looking morose. I don't know. You got caught cheating on Nickelodeon. So that's the funniest meme to me. That was insane. And then back to Mike McCarthy, not taking, credibility. Today they asked him if he went back and, watched the game and would he do anything different? He's like, no, I haven't watched it yet.
It's what are you again? What are you even doing?
And then he said he hasn't watched it yet, but he does think that they did the right thing. On their last drive, he wouldn't have done it differently, and that Dak is coached to hand the ball to the center. So it's so you're coaching him wrong.
Someone's getting coached wrong, right? Because I remember they referenced, there was a lot of reference about Larry Fitzgerald, right? And coincidentally, it was a game against the 49ers that Larry Fitzgerald, in the final seconds, he caught the ball inbounds and he runs over, gives it to a center, which some people, I think, at first had remembered that he handed it to the ref. He did not hand it to the ref. Actually, he handed it to his center. His center then gave it to the ref, who was right there. He was right in front of the offensive line. I will say that it was a bit odd. It was a bit odd to me that the ref was so far downfield. What was he doing? So that dude he ran 20 plus yards just to get to the line. What was he doing?
He was doing his best, Steph. That's what he was doing. The poor guy.
But it just, not even that though. Just the QB draw with 14 seconds left was baffling. Terrible. So just besides even that, ref mishap or whatever you want to call it, it was still just poor coaching on Mike McCarthy's part. And
yeah, which happens to all teams.
Yeah.
Unfortunately it happened to them in a playoff game. So
yeah, for sure. But let's talk about the offensive line really quick, because to me, they also had a fabulous game. Was there anything about the offensive line that stood out to you in this game?
Oh, are you done? Okay. Sorry, I blacked out.
Did I freeze or something?
Yeah. Yeah, they just played amazing. The more time Jimmy Garoppolo has, the better, and it showed in that first half. They didn't allow him to get sacked. So for a squad that's gotten a lot of flack over the years, I feel like this season they've been pretty top notch for the most part. And I feel like this weekend was, the peak, not the peak. I hope they play even better again, this weekend, but like their just trajectory, their trajectory is going up every single game, it seems. And it showed this weekend.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Tomlinson allowed 4 pressures. Compton and Brunskill allowed 2 pressures each. Trent only allowed 1, and Alex Mack had a completely clean slate. He did not even allow 1 pressure. So I feel like Alex Mack is just continuing to improve as well. And you mentioned the trajectory. Hopefully he can continue that. His pass blocking efficiency score per PFF is actually better right now. It's 98.8 than it was in 2016 when he was with the Falcons.
Wow.
And several years younger.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like, that's crazy. Maybe everyone else around him is just elevating him. The Niners are such a better team that he's just like, damn, I'm going to play. Was that for the season or was that for that game? That's for the season.
I believe that's cumulative for the season. Yeah.
And it's just so impressive when you see guys playing like this in the playoffs, because you're going up against, the best of the best. These are the teams that made it. So hats off to them. Not gonna take my hat off though.
Okay. Well, with the great offensive line performance, the 49ers were able to run the ball, and quite successfully as well. They ran the ball 38 times, an absurd amount. Love that. Need more of it. And they gained 169 yards on those rushes. They are now 23-1 since 2019 when they run the ball 30 plus times. Hat tip to Jordan for tweeting that one out. That was a cool tidbit, as you would say.
At @splash_cousin, who also just hit 5K like the day before me. We had a little race going on, so that was funny. But really quick, I seriously do want to shout him out really quick. Not that he's like watching or anything, but like when we met him a year ago, I think he had like 400 Twitter followers, and now he has 5,000 in a year, which like he just puts out the best content, like the objective. Like if you want to get smarter, go follow Jordan. Just real quick plug for my guy.
The dude just has stats like oozing out of him. Like his Twitter is just a wealth of knowledge. Actually, I love following him.
Yeah, shout out to him for tweeting that stat out. 23-1 when they run the ball 30 plus times. That's actually unreal. Like that just, if that doesn't speak volumes of this running game that Kyle Shanahan has put together, like, fear it. I would
fear them.
Fear it. Yes, fear them, dude. Fear them. No matter who they have at running back, but it helps when you have studs, which they do. It's just insane.
Speaking of studs, the studdest of all, Trent Williams, he enjoyed his first playoff win. Could you believe that? I mean, I could, the fact that he came from the Redskins, but it's like for someone who's as talented as he is. And by the way, like we mentioned the All-Pro, that it was his first time. That one I'm like shocked by, because he's so good. But I'm happy for him that he was, he got to taste his first playoff win.
It was shocking to me because when we talk about Trent Williams, we're like future Hall of Famer Trent Williams. Like it's a no-brainer. So to see that he's never even been on a team that's won a playoff game, it's kind of mind-blowing. Because in other like ball, right? Like your accolades and your championships and how many World Series you won and everything, like those are huge, when writers are considering voting for you in the Hall of Fame. So it's cool how in football, like they actually just look at the skill of the player, and like we can easily say he's a Hall of Famer without even having won a Super Bowl, which I think is really cool. Says a lot about him.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure. And he's also this probably, I hate the word like swaggy or like swaggy, but he's definitely the drippiest, swaggiest offensive lineman.
I would marry him.
game this game has ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure you guys saw what he was wearing for his post-game presser. The dude is just he's dripping drip. Like,
Yeah.
damn, I'm so glad he's on our team.
If you can rock a monochrome outfit, like you're sick as fuck. Like I'm just that's it. That's all there is to it. So shout out Trent Williams for his play, his drip, his energy. We got to talk really quick about that picture of him pointing and laughing
Oh,
at the
yeah.
Cowboys fans flipping him off. I mean, if you couldn't
Iconic.
tell that he was enjoying his first playoff win, like that picture just says it all.
Yeah, it truly does. Truly iconic. Hopefully we could get more pictures like that in the future. Really quickly, Ryan Johnson said the ref was liking and subscribing to the 49 Carats podcast. Feels like a great time to remind you all, listeners and viewers, like and subscribe this video. Go ahead, share it if you feel like it. If you like what we're saying, bring us up in the algorithm. We love that. Mike L said, I've been smoking that Micah Parsons pack all week. We love that as well. Keep smoking.
Keep smoking.
And then Amin asks, Trent or Debo, who is the best player on the Niners? Ooh.
Trent. I mean,
I think Trent,
right?
yeah, Trent objectively is probably the best player on this team. That guy dominates every, like, almost literally every single snap. Like, there's
Exactly.
You'd be hard pressed to find a snap
But
where he is not winning.
yeah, like Debo, I feel like Debo also is just like contributing every snap, which is insane. Like the fact that he can go from being in the backfield and like having a 20-yard run, and then, you know, the next play he's like out there running routes, and then he's back in the backfield again. Like most running backs come in, run the ball, and then they get to come out, you know, for a second. But Debo is just bam, 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 like working his ass off out there.
Yeah, he's definitely taken his game to another level. Like, it's evident in, you know, when you watch the game. And, you know, no matter who you think the best player on the 49ers is between these two, it's a good sign that we can even ask these questions, right? Because it just means that both of these players are playing at a really high level. And so, you know, it's a good discussion to have always.
Yeah.
But now, really quickly, before we go to the next segment, I just really want to ask you, was there any point in this game that you felt like was a big turning point, good or bad, in this game?
Probably Jimmy Garoppolo's interception followed by the Fred Warner injury. That was that was just, I mean, every 49er game, honestly, this season has really stressed me out, but that was the most stressful sequence of events I've probably ever, I don't know if I want to say ever, but like, especially this season, we'll say that was very stressful. And I mean, of course, we saw what happened after that. I mean, the game was within reach after that. So I didn't like that. That was my bad turning point. I didn't
like that. Yeah. No, not at all. For me, and shout out to Nikki Javala, who tweeted this. She pointed out this sequence. There was a sack by DJ Jones, followed by
that was huge.
K'Wan Williams interception, followed by, as we know, Deebo Samuel's touchdown. That was I wouldn't say it's a turning point, but it was a point in the game where I really felt like they were going to win. I immediately texted, you know, my buddy who was at the game, and I was like, should we grab a drink? Like, I'm ready to start celebrating. He was like, we need to score 3 here. Like after that. And I was like, okay, you're right. And he was right. So
that touchdown, you could tell it just, you know, for a moment there deflated the Cowboys. It was that final nail in the coffin, you know, and that sack by DJ Jones, like anytime DJ Jones does anything, I'm losing my mind, like, you know, going crazy because I love that guy. I think he's awesome. And to see K'Wan Williams redeem himself for blowing the coverage on the touchdown earlier in the game, coming up big with the interception. So you're absolutely correct. I would say that was the best sequence of the game as well.
Yeah, I liked yours as well. I think those were two of the big turning points. Mine was the good one. Yours was the bad one. We're definitely going to talk more about that Jimmy Garoppolo interception in a bit. But before we do that, I wanted to talk about a couple players whose stonks are up. And if you don't know what stonks is, it's stocks. So any player who has their stocks up in this game, who do you want to start with, Angie?
Let's start with Deebo Samuel. Deebo blank check Samuel, I'm assuming, because he's going to get paid this offseason, right? I'm just waiting for that contract to get my Deebo jersey. I just want to make sure if for some reason I cannot get a Deebo jersey because they don't sign him, like I don't even want to talk about it. So I think it's been really, really awesome to see how Deebo has just grown and developed since he first got here. I mean, you see him on the sideline telling Kyle, give me the ball. Like he's just the straight up leader of the team, right? Yeah, that was top 10 49er moments ever for me. Maybe that was amazing. And then when he was like, I told you, Kyle, and Kyle's like, thanks for telling me. That was just, dude, 10 out of 10. Like Kyle's hella funny.
Unintentionally.
Unintentionally, right. He's the first wide receiver since 2006 to get 10 plus carries in a playoff game. Like, there's just one reason to love the guy. 10 carries, 72 rushing yards, 1 rushing touchdown, which highlight of the game, honestly, for me personally. Even before I saw that mic'd up moment, right? His 72 rushing yards were the most by a wide receiver in NFL postseason history. Dude, this guy has just been breaking records all year long.
Yeah, literally every week we have a new cool Deebo stat.
Yeah, it's like ridiculous at this point. Yeah, and Sunday's game was the 4th time this season that he's averaged 7.2 yards per carry and recorded a rushing touchdown in the same game. Shout out Jordan Elliott for that stat. Mike McDaniel said it best today when he said, I've been doing this a long time and I've never, ever, ever, ever been around a football player that called his own shot. That was a special moment that only a special player could do. Hit the nail on the head, right? And I like how he said never, ever, 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 giving me Taylor Swift vibes there. But yeah, like, is there anything you want to say about Deebo? I mean, what a joy to watch him play.
Yeah, so after watching his mic'd up, it's clear to me that he has evolved into a leader on that offense. And that's infectious, right? Like I feel when someone plays with the physicality and toughness and just the mindset that Deebo has, I think that really goes a long way with the rest of the team, with the other receivers as well. I just can't say enough about how much he's grown this season. And that's why I put that note, Deebo blank check Samuel, give that man his money. At this point, like, I don't care how much it costs. I think Deebo Samuel is deserving of that.
Yeah, I hope that he's a 49er for life. Like, it would just
laugh.
It'd feel so weird to see him somewhere else. So
yeah, it would be wrong. It would be wrong.
Who else is stonking?
I'm gonna say Brandon Ayuk in this one.
Yes.
He had 6 receptions for 66 yards. And did you know that during the regular season, the 49ers quarterbacks had their highest passer rating when targeting Ayuk. They had a 118.5 passer rating when targeting him.
That does not surprise me at all.
Right.
Just because of Deebo's emergence as, running back. Brandon Ayuk is in a way wide receiver 1, right? Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a weird little situation.
Well, he's definitely talented enough to be wide receiver 1, even if you yes, obviously Deebo is the best. We can maybe say he's the best playmaker, skill player on the offense. But, Ayuk, I think, is, he only plays wide receiver. So I think we can say he's wide receiver 1. I feel comfortable with that.
That's what I was going with. That's what I was going for. You said it better than me. I'm like, duh, maybe he's wide receiver 1.
Well, no, I mean, you can't call Debo wide receiver 1, but because he's, what is it? WRB.
QWRB. QWRB1.
Yeah, exactly. So,
and I know, so we did Jesse's show last night, and I talked about this, but Brandon Ayuk has, his skill as a wide receiver is what has allowed them to take Debo out of that position and put him at running back. And we've seen that Debo at running back is, the main reason they're winning games right now. He's the X factor. So, if it weren't for Brandon Ayuk getting out of the doghouse, stepping up after that conversation he had with Kyle earlier in the season and making adjustments. I mean, now he's out there smoking guys on every route. So it's just been great to see.
Yeah, we saw him going against Diggs. He beat him a couple of times, and that's what people were saying. Going into the game, like, I was a little worried about them going against Diggs and Jimmy Garoppolo targeting Diggs, and people were trying to talk me down, saying they just need a receiver to go against him that is good at double moves, and that receiver was Brandon Ayuk, and we saw it on display. So props to him. He also pissed off Micah Parsons with his blocking. And that's not the first time he's pissed someone off with his blocking like that. And that says a lot about just like his toughness and physicality. When he's out there blocking, a very underrated thing that these 49er wide receivers do. Ayuk was also the highest graded 49ers player versus Dallas. He had an 83.7 PFF grade. So props to him. Hopefully he keeps up.
Yeah, that was the highest grade of any wide receiver over wildcard weekend. So
really,
shout out. Yeah,
sheesh.
It was. Yeah. Sheesh. Nice. Yeah.
Sheesh.
Yeah. Like you said, he does it all. He catches, he blocks.
Apparently he plays CB as well.
Yeah. Why not? Give it a try.
Just put him out there. Put him out there.
Yeah. So Ayuk was being a quote unquote bully on Sunday. Speaking of bullies, we gotta give our flowers to Charles Omenihu. I remember when this guy came to the Niners, people were like, why did we do this? And I remember being like, people were concerned that he didn't have any sacks. But he led his team in pressures before he came to the Niners. And I was telling everyone, I was like, pressures are indicators of future success. Like, don't judge a person based just on sacks. Like, look at their pressures. That tells you, if they're doing a good job of getting to the quarterback, and eventually it's going to pay off. It surely has. On Sunday, he had 6 pressures, 1.5 sacks, and only 23 pass rushing snaps. That's a 24% win rate. He also had a forced fumble that was recovered by the Cowboys. And he was monumental in replacing Nick Bosa in the second half. So, I mean, shout out to him. Thank God they got him. He was acquired ahead of the trade deadline in November for a 2023 6th-round pick.
Pennies.
Is that a steal? Yeah.
Pennies.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a steal, but like, it's funny because like when you look at what he did with the Texans, like that was probably like a good trade. The Texans were probably thinking like, we're just not to get anything for this guy. Well, and
like we've seen with Arden Key, guys just come to the Niners and say, okay, I'm actually going to start playing now. So
no, but definitely like what Chris said here, it's credit to Kosarich and the way the defensive linemen come to the 49ers and shine. We love to see it. Another defensive lineman that I have to give flowers to, and another player who didn't always get his flowers because again, people look at sacks and, he hasn't always been the biggest like sack getter in his career, but ever since he's moved to the inside and rushing from the inside, he's been very successful, and I think it's helped the entire defensive line as well. You probably know who I'm going to say. Eric Armstead. He had 3 pressures in the game against the Cowboys. He had 1 sack as well and 1 tackle for loss. In his last 3 games, he has 4 sacks, 13 pressures, and 19 total tackles. DJ Jones, pretty good. Yeah, I would say so. And DJ Jones, after the game, said himself that Eric Armstead is the most important piece of this team. That is high praise.
Yeah.
That's
DeForest
really high
Buckner,
praise.
who?
Sitting on the couch somewhere.
Yeah, we're fine.
I love Buckner as a player, but I'm obviously, really excited to see Eric Armstead really, just leading the pack a bit, and D'Amico Ryans today said the biggest turnaround of our defense has been Eric Armstead's move inside. I would have to agree. I mean, they were good before he moved to the inside, but they have been great.
Yeah, no, seriously, you could see the difference, honestly. They've been just absolutely terrifying since that happened. So he's absolutely correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Who would you say is the next player?
The next player, I believe this is our last one, coming off an amazing play to end the game against the Rams. He brought that momentum into Sunday against the Cowboys. It's Ambry Thomas. He had the highest PFF grade on defense, and it was his highest of the season. So again, look at rookies getting better as the season goes on. It's so crazy,
trajectory.
Right? Yeah, like trajectory. I know, dude. Why have I said that so many times tonight?
It's a good word.
It is.
Stonks are up. Stonks
are trajecting. Yeah. They are just trajecting to the moon. I don't even know if trajecting is a word. I shouldn't embarrass myself like this. So Ambry Thomas was targeted 4 times, gave up 2 catches for just 24 yards against some of the best wide receivers in the league. So if you are an Ambry Thomas doubter, I think you have to have had come along by now, right? Like, you guys are coming along, right? We're jumping on the wagon. We're getting behind Ambry a little. What do you think, Steph?
I think it's quiet for the Ambry Thomas doubters. It's real quiet.
Which I'm not gonna bash on Ambry Thomas doubters, because he was straight doo-doo to start the season, right? But It's been awesome to see his development, and maybe it could turn out to be something awesome for the Niners.
Yeah, definitely. And Angie, you thought that we were done with the stonk up players, but I actually have one more. And this one is going to surprise you, okay? It's going to surprise you. You ready? All right.
Oh God. No.
Robbie Gold.
Oh, yes. Dude.
So
it's a historic moment on the 49K pod.
We got to give Robbie Gold his flowers. We give him plenty of shit when he misses a kick. Okay, so when he does really well, we got to give him his flowers. Robbie Gold, to me, has been a bright spot for the special teams unit. We'll talk a little bit about the not so bright spots of the special teams unit in a bit, but Robbie had field goals from 40 yards, 52 yards, and 53 yards.
Clinic.
And clinic. And it really, when you think about how close the game kind of ended up being, those field goals really just made a difference in the grand scheme of things. And I saw this tweet that someone posted, and I did not write their Twitter name down, so apologies, but Robbie Gold in his postseason career, he is 18 of 18 on field goal attempts.
Oh my God. So he's the real Mr. Clutch.
That's the most makes without a miss in the Super Bowl era in the postseason. So yeah, 18 of 18.
I
We
don't know
got to
what
give
that
him his
was.
props, and we just gotta hope he continues on this tear in the playoffs. It's
Yeah.
incredible.
Oh, that's a lot of pressure. He's never missed. He's never missed. Is that what you said?
Yeah, in the playoffs, he hasn't
That's
missed. He hasn't missed.
crazy. Dude, I
Yeah,
would
hopefully
do you
that's
think
not
he,
like a
he knows
jinx
that,
or
right?
something.
He knows that, right?
I
Like,
don't know. I always wonder, like, do players keep track of these things?
right.
I'm not sure. I feel like
Because
some
I feel
players
like
do, some players don't.
if I were a player, if I were a kicker and I knew
Yeah.
that, I would fuck it up immediately. Like,
So maybe we should keep
like,
this one under wraps.
dude, yeah, don't
Don't
tell
tell
anyone.
him.
Don't tell Robbie.
Don't tell.
Uh,
Don't tell him.
that's crazy though. Good for him. I mean, we love to slander kickers, specifically Robbie Gold, but good as gold, right? I wish they would
It
have
is
scored
gold.
touchdowns on those 3 drives, but we'll take the
Right.
3s.
We'll take the threes for sure. Better than nothing. Better than throwing an interception in the red zone.
Absolutely
So,
correct.
um, so we enjoyed this game, right? I mean, you enjoyed this game. You're enjoying this win.
Yeah, I feel great. I mean, at the end, my boyfriend came downstairs and I was sitting on the ground an inch away from the TV, but I'm fine. Like, he
having a
was
great.
actually worried about me. I was like this, like
Oh my
watching it.
gosh.
Yeah.
Jesus
Because
Christ.
I couldn't stop pacing. I was like, I need to sit down. So then I was
So, like,
like
at
doing
what
sit-ups
point?
in front
At
of the
what
TV.
point of the game was that?
Oh, that just probably the whole fourth quarter.
Okay. See, I think that's fair. I think that's fair because things it did really start to unravel towards
It
the
did.
end there.
That's fine.
And it was a little scary. And I know, okay, we are enjoying this win. We're having a great time. We spent most of this episode praising all the good.
Yeah,
But
we
if I
have.
have
We've done really well.
But if I had to just choose some little things to talk about here, because the 49ers now have to face the Packers in Lambeau. The Packers are coming off some extra rest. 49ers coming off a short week. So if I'm looking at some of the things that I saw in this Cowboys game, there's a couple things that I'm not panicking about, but I just want to come and say that, if they make some of these same mistakes against the Packers, I don't think it's going to be the same outcome.
Yeah.
What do you think?
100%. It's the Green Bay Packers, man. They're the best team in the NFL. I mean, and you don't get there by accident. So you have to be on your A game because most likely, sure as shit, the Packers are going to be on theirs. So,
Yeah, exactly. So, and the defense did dominate, really the entire game. So I'm gonna give them that.
yeah.
They did dominate. They were probably the one untouchable, um, you know, aspect of this game that I really can't criticize at all. The Cowboys were simply just, to me, they just were not coached very well in this game.
Undisciplined.
Undisciplined. They seemed kind of unprepared, to be honest. And they had 14 penalties. And I think there were a few, not just that final drive, but there were a few plays that were kind of like head scratchers for me personally. I don't know if you felt the same as well. But, you know, I wouldn't expect a similar thing to happen to the Packers, right?
No, the Cowboys had the most penalties in the NFL coming into this game. You know, the Niners kind of had it easy on that front. You knew they're gonna flag themselves out of this one. So the Packers aren't going to. If anything, the Niners need to make sure that they're not getting penalties on them like they did in week 3 against the Packers, because that was when I feel like all the troubles with the DPIs started, was Aaron Rodgers, going at the numbers and us not able to do things right. So Yeah, 100%. It's going to be a way tougher hill to climb, as it will be as they continue to win, hopefully.
Right. So they need to work on being mistake free. Of course, we can talk about Jimmy Garoppolo's mistakes because it didn't end up costing them the game, but it very well could have in that second half. The interception, it just terrible, terrible timing with Jimmy Garoppolo's interception, and we've said it before that at this point, we kind of expect him to throw at least one interception
Yeah.
in any game, right? Especially in the playoffs when, they're playing against, presumably better defenses. So you figure he's good for at least one of them. But
Yeah.
to throw an interception with 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter, that you just can't do that, especially when you're on your own side of the field. That was just unacceptable to me. And it came on, and I understand he had the shoulder injury, okay, but it also came on not scramble, but he escaped the pocket and he was looking for someone downfield. That was wildly inaccurate pass. And okay, yes, it was the shoulder probably, but I felt like he would have probably been better off just throwing that one away. Like, you don't have to force things. You just need to be able to win the game,
And that's when we see Jimmy throw picks, is when he tries to force it. So he needs to just, take his time, think about things. I know that's easy for me to say on my couch when I don't have, 300-pound men rushing. They're not 300 pounds. That was dumb. More like, what are they, like a little over
some might be 300, I don't know.
Yeah, some of them might be, but yeah, it's easy for me to say, but he just don't make any mistakes, please.
Yeah, I mean, another mistake, and this one, I was a little surprised by, when they had that QB sneak on 4th and inches.
You're talking about
Trent
at the
Williams,
end of the game?
Yes, Trent Williams was not set. He didn't check to make sure all his guys were set before snapping the ball, and that could have easily been avoided as well. That was what ultimately ended up giving the ball back to the Cowboys and giving them that last shot. And again, if you're playing against Aaron Rodgers and you give him 40 seconds to drive down the field, which at that point, I think it wasn't even the length of the whole field. It was like midway or something like that. Aaron Rodgers is going to score that touchdown and he's going to beat you because that's what Aaron Rodgers does. So you can't afford to make those mistakes, especially that late in the game when you're just trying to hold on against a team as good as the Packers. So, I'm not trying to nitpick on this win. I just, keeping an eye out for things I don't want to see against the Packers. So,
not to mention the fake punt on special teams.
Yes, that's another thing. This special teams unit is like, I just want to pull my hair out because
they were prepared for it and they still let it happen.
Josh Norman, I mean, I can't. I can't with Josh Norman.
I'm not gonna say anything. God bless you.
I cannot.
May blessings rain down upon you and your family.
But yeah, special teams definitely has to get their shit together. Of course, the game immediately after you allow a fake punt, you're probably gonna keep an eye out for that stuff now, right? You're gonna key in on things like that. But maybe just do that every game.
Yeah,
that's a thought.
Yeah, do your job.
Right. All right, really quickly, we're going to breeze through. We got some fast facts. Go ahead, Angie. You got a fast fact for us?
I do. I believe it was, again, Jordan Elliott that first pointed this out. Jimmy Garoppolo has the second best career road win percentage since the merger including the postseason. He's behind Patrick Mahomes and ahead of Joe Montana. On the road, Jimmy is 20-6. That's a .769 winning percentage. So
did he tweet that one before the game against the Cowboys?
Maybe, yeah, but this stat, the 20-6, is after the win. Because then I think CBS jocked his shit on that one, and then they tweeted it out after the game with the current records and everything. So good job on Jordan getting the attention of CBS Sports. I think they copied you. So yeah, that's crazy. So I'm feeling good about Saturday, despite it being in Lambeau, despite the snow. Jimmy is the winningest 49ers quarterback on the road and since the merger in 49ers history. So that's including the postseason. Yeah, so you have to feel good about that, right? Who knows why? Like, I don't know why. That makes no sense to me, but it's true.
All right. Yeah, I like that. That's a good one. Shout out Jordan. Mine is about
really quick. Yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but Christopher did comment. Tell us the one where Jimmy was the reason we won. QB wins are a subjective statistic. Obviously, the team was 20-6 during those times that Jimmy was playing quarterback. Okay, I just wanted to make that clear. Yeah, but they are capable of winning on the road with Jimmy.
Oh, of course, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Exactly that. Shanahan running game defense is what helps. It all comes together to make this big, beautiful winning pie.
I will say that the 49ers, not just on offense, but the entire team in the second half of the season, in these last few weeks, that they've looked awesome. It really has been a complete team effort, like all around. There's so many players.
They love each other.
Yeah, I think they do. They do. Come on.
They do.
Of course they do. Okay, so my fast fact is with about a guy we have not mentioned yet in this episode. And that guy is Elijah Mitchell. Let me remove this really quick so you can see. So 85 of Elijah Mitchell's 96 rushing yards versus the Cowboys came after contact. So his Elijah Mitchell after contact is the second best running back during wildcard weekend. The third best being Josh Jacobs. But that, I mean, come on.
That's crazy.
That's pretty good stuff right there. Yeah, I like Elijah Mitchell, and I hope well, no, I don't hope the Packers are ready for him.
Yeah.
I don't want them to be ready.
That's what kills me about the 49ers. Like, dude, they're going to run the ball. Like, how are they winning like this? It's just that good.
Yeah. You just can't. Nothing stops this train, Angie.
I should update that. Train. You remember when I tweeted the train that was like broken down when Jimmy said like this train ain't stopping when they were playing like shit?
It was like a rusty train.
Dude, yeah.
How it started, how it's going. You should do that.
Ooh, I should. When they win the Super Bowl.
Okay. Ooh, she said when. She said when.
As any good fan does. I'm a good fan. I'm a good fan.
She's a faithful.
I'm a faithful.
We had some injury news though after the game. Do you want to take us through some of that?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, we saw it all unfold on the field, right? Nick Bosa has a concussion. They're optimistic he'll be able to play Sunday. That is fantastic news. Jordan Willis has a high ankle sprain. Those aren't good. Fred Warner has a low ankle sprain. That's much better than a high ankle sprain.
It's much better than what sorry to interrupt, but it was much better than what I thought he had when that happened, because I was literally like panicking. Like it literally looked like he tore his ACL, or like, no lie, like the other players immediately started kneeling around him. And I was like, this is it. He's done for the rest of the season. Like he's done for the playoffs.
when you see someone clutch their knee on a non-contact like fall like that, he is
so
done
bizarre.
for. He is
Right.
like, that's what I thought. But no, the MRI came back great. He was limited Tuesday, but I mean, according to Fred Warner, says he's going to be good to go on Sunday. So we're on Warner watch. We're just keeping an eye on him. Jimmy Garoppolo, thumb, shoulder sprain, suffered in second quarter, was limited on Tuesday. So I have a really quick question for you. If you had to choose between, let's start broad and then we can narrow it down depending on what your answer is. If you had to choose between Jimmy Garoppolo, Fred Warner, and Nick Bosa being available for Sunday's game, you can only choose one.
Oh,
Who would you pick?
Oh, wow. That's such a great question. Oof, that is tough. Obviously, like Garoppolo would probably be at the bottom of the list.
Damn.
Sorry,
that's not what I was expecting.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's hard.
It is hard. Yeah, like all of those players are super important. I would say Nick Bosa.
Okay, I like that answer.
You ask the tough questions, you got to answer the tough questions.
I know. I feel like it's hard because I feel like everyone stepped up in the game after Warner and Bosa came out.
Yes.
So in that sense, like I feel like they would be okay, but both of them being out at the same time, I feel would have like a domino effect on the defense, if you know what I'm saying.
Right. And for an entire game against Rodgers.
And right, and they're gonna run the ball a lot, so maybe Trey Lance could be okay. So I'm gonna go Fred Warner. Just because I feel like the defensive line fared well in Bosa's absence, even though he is such an impact player. I feel like Warner is my answer.
Yeah. Final answer.
Final answer. Regis.
Curious to know what some of our listeners and viewers think. I haven't seen any comments, which means they're probably also struggling with the choice.
Yeah.
But if you had to pick one, just drop it in the comments. We want to know. Really quickly, because I know we're over an hour here. Do you think that Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be limited at all by this shoulder injury? Like, should we be concerned?
Yes. I mean, it's never good when he comes out and says that his throws were affected, because I know Kyle came out and said, no, like, it's not why he threw that pick. And
that was cap.
It turns out because Jimmy said, oh, you know what? Actually, this shoulder that I throw with, actually, it being hurt did affect me throwing. So,
yeah, who would think that?
Fancy that. I think that Jimmy Garoppolo literally will play if like his arm is hanging out of socket. Like he's going to do anything he can to play this game.
Right.
Who knows if he'll be able to feel anything when he goes out to play this game. They might numb him up good and say, have at it. I don't know. We're at a point now where it's like, this is a real run, right?
Yeah.
Like this is real. I know that they don't want to throw Trey Lance out there. So right. I think he's going to be good to go.
Yeah. I think he will be too.
I don't know.
I think he will be too. I mean, like you said, he's going to gut it out. It's going to take a lot, I think, for him to not be out there. The only hope is that he can remain as accurate as he usually is. And, we've seen against the Packers that the 49ers offense likes to run the ball against the Packers. And I think that in this matchup, it should be no different. So maybe he won't need to throw all that much.
Right. Yeah.
Then again, my concern with that is the Packers are going to be 100% expecting the 49ers to run the ball. And, maybe they might have a good game plan for it. I don't know. I mean, we'll talk about the Packers 49ers preview in another episode, which we'll talk about in a bit. But yeah, hopefully he'll be okay.
Yeah.
Now, really quickly though, before we end our episode, I know there's a lot of 49ers front office and coaches, front office members and assistant coaches that have been getting some phone calls for, GM and head coaching searches. Adam Peters, assistant GM to John Lynch, he is set to have a second interview with the Giants. So he's a finalist. He's one of 3 finalists, actually. So I am hoping the other 2 just interview a lot better. Because
I mean,
I would hate to see Adam Peters go. I mean, I don't even know what that would mean for the 49ers going forward if they lost him.
Are they able to do like a mid postseason oh my god, I just blanked. What's the word? Promotion. Oh my god. Are they able to do a mid postseason promotion and just bump him up to GM, throw John Lynch up to VP, just
Yeah.
get him to stay, please?
I've seen that suggestion thrown
We're struggling.
around. I've seen it thrown around, and I think they could promote him at any time. And I don't know if they'll do that though. I mean, I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. Director of pro player personnel, Rand Carthen, also interviewed with the Giants, but he, so far at least, has not been named as one of the finalists. So he's out of that running, at least for now. And he, as far as I had heard, he set to interview with the Bears as well. Mike McDaniel, sorry. He's interviewing with the Miami Dolphins for their head coach, and he's been making a lot of, all of a sudden everyone's talking about Mike McDaniel on Twitter. He's loved by everyone
funny.
because he's such an authentic dude, and he exudes energy that I think we can all agree we feel like we can vibe with,
Yeah, and I feel like that's why the offense is vibing, with each other, at least, on a personal level. They're all just having a lot of fun right now, which is cool to see. And of course, D'Amico Ryans is going to interview with the Vikings for head coach, which is kind of crazy to me. He's a first-year defensive coordinator. You're already, but why not interview as many talented coaches as you can? I totally get it. But literally all day, I've been seeing all this news the past couple days, and the song that's playing over in my head is just no, 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 no. Get away, get away, get away, get out of here. Stay away from them.
Right. But I know. It's you want to be happy for them, but then it's no, he's mine. Especially because D'Amico Ryans, we've only had him as our defensive coordinator for 1 year. I'm I would hate for the defense to have to go through, having another defensive coordinator already. But we'll see how it plays out. Obviously, we'll talk about it in our next episode as well, or next week's episode, I should say. Usually around this time in our episode, we would be doing a preview to the next game, except this episode, we will not be doing that because we're going to have a special edition playoff second 49K pod this week. We are going to be live again on Friday with special guest Eric Crocker, who we're very excited to have on with us on Friday. Make sure you guys tune in Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific. That should be a good episode.
Yeah, I'm stoked. Crocky's the best, man. I'm so excited he's making time for us because he's a wealth of knowledge.
Busy guy. And yeah, definitely excited for that one. So make sure to tune in on Friday. But that is all for our episode today. I hope you guys had a great time. We still smoking that Cowboys pack. And
Ayy.
and congrats again, Angie, on 5K
Oh my God,
followers. Hopefully I
stop.
get my 2K soon. We're trying to get 1,000 subscribers for YouTube. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. And that's all for today.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace.